I, 34, am a normal guy, or at least I thought I was. A husband, a father, a man who worked his ass off to give his family a good life. My wife, 32F, and I had been married for 9 years. We had 2 kids, our daughter, 7F, and our son, 5M. I wasn't rich, but I was doing well. Decent house, 2 cars, family vacations when we could afford them. I thought we were happy. Turns out, I was the only one who thought that. It all started with a nagging feeling. My wife had joined a gym about a year ago. Nothing unusual about that. She wanted to get in shape, and I supported her. But slowly, things changed. She started dressing differently. More makeup, tighter clothes. Always on her phone, smiling at messages she never shared. At first, I chalked it up to her just feeling more confident. I was happy for her. Then came the late nights. She claimed she was at the gym, working out late because it was less crowded. But when I checked the gym's hours, it closed at 9 p.m., and she'd been coming home at 11. I wasn't stupid. Something was off. So I did what any man in my position would do. I looked for proof. One night, she left her phone on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. I knew the passcode. My hand shook as I unlocked it. And there it was. Texts, pictures, videos. Her and her personal trainer. Messages about how he made her feel alive. How she had never been happier. How our home felt like a prison, and she couldn't wait to break free. I sat there, staring at my wife's betrayal in digital form, my heart pounding. Then, I did something I never thought I'd do. I took screenshots. Every last message, every inappropriate picture. I forwarded them all to myself and backed them up. When she came downstairs, fresh out of the shower, all I said was, "How was the gym?" She didn't even flinch. "Good," she said, towel drying her hair. "Tough workout." Liar. I didn't confront her right away. No, I wanted to be smart. Calculated. I wasn't just some heartbroken husband. I was a father. And I wasn't going to let her take my kids down with her. The next few weeks were torture. I knew what she was doing. Every time she smiled at her phone, every time she left for the gym, I knew. But I played dumb. I was careful. I started documenting everything. Her absences, her lies, the nights she came home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. Meanwhile, I consulted a lawyer. A damn good one. I laid everything out. Our finances, our assets, the evidence. He told me something that stuck with me. Don't just think about divorce. Think about custody. Custody. That was the real battle. I wasn't going to let my children be raised by a woman who sneaked around like a teenager and thought our home was a prison. I needed a plan. So I set a trap. One Friday night, I told her I had to work late. In reality, I parked my car a few blocks away and walked home, slipping into the house quietly. I knew she wouldn't be expecting me. And sure enough, when I stepped into our bedroom, there she was, FaceTiming him. She was lying on her bed, wearing something she sure as hell never wore for me, giggling like a high school girl. "I miss you," she purred into the phone. "He's so clueless." I stepped forward. "Am I?" She screamed, dropped the phone, scrambled off the bed like a guilty teenager caught sneaking out. "What the hell?" she shrieked. "Why are you home?" I just stared at her, my jaw tight. "That's what you're worried about? Not the fact that you've been screwing your trainer." She stammered, her face paling. "It's not. It was a mistake. A mistake. A mistake that lasted months. That had a paper trail of texts and photos. That involved sneaking around behind my back and lying to my face." I didn't yell. I didn't rage. I just pulled out my phone and held it up, letting her see the messages, the photos, everything. "Was this a mistake too?" She gasped. Her hands flew to her mouth. "Oh my God. You went through my phone." I almost laughed. "That's what you're upset about? Not the fact that you blew up our marriage." She started crying, full-on dramatic sobs, like she was the victim. I was lonely. You were always working. I felt neglected. Oh, so it was my fault now?" I just shook my head. "Save it. You're not just a cheater. You're a liar. And you're a bad liar at that." She tried to reach for my arm, but I stepped back. "Please," she begged. "We can work through this." "No, we can't." She kept crying, begging, swearing it would never happen again. But I was done. I walked out of the bedroom, went downstairs, and called my lawyer. It's time. And that was the beginning of the real war. The divorce itself? That was just paperwork. The real fight was custody, and I was ready for it. See, my wife thought she had the upper hand. She assumed that since she was the mother, the courts would side with her. She even had the audacity to smirk at me during one of our early mediation meetings, like she had already won. But she had no idea what was coming. I had spent weeks gathering everything. Her late-night absences, her financial records showing gym payments that didn't match her excuses, her texts, her inappropriate photos. I even had proof that she left our kids home alone once to go meet him. That was a nail in her coffin. She tried to play the victim. She sat there in court, dabbing her eyes with a tissue, claiming that she had simply made a mistake but was still a great mother. "My children are my world," she said dramatically. But my lawyer was ruthless. He pulled out the evidence, every text, every message. He read her words out loud in the courtroom. "I feel trapped at home. I just want to be free." And then he hit her with the final blow. "Your Honor, I'd like to present proof that the defendant left her children alone at night to meet with her trainer." Silence. My wife's face drained of color. "That's not true," she shrieked. But it was, and I had the receipts. She tried everything, begging, crying, even accusing me of being controlling. She even had her trainers submit a character statement, trying to make it seem like I was the problem. But no amount of manipulation could erase the truth. The judge wasn't buying her act. Given the evidence presented, he said, "I find it in the best interest of the children to grant the father full custody." Boom. She lost it. Right there in the courtroom. Started screaming about how it wasn't fair, how I was ruining her life. But I didn't care. I had won. And the best part? Her trainer dumped her the moment the case got serious. He wanted no part of the drama. She lost everything. Her marriage, her kids, her lover. And she had no one to blame but herself. I walked out of that courthouse with my kids, knowing I had done right by them. She had made her choices, and she had to live with them. So yeah, she called it a mistake. But mistakes have consequences, and she learned that the hard way. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe, because karma stories like this, they just keep coming.